Part 3. Evolution to Lopita. Balrarbab Grabdobrib. Lugnak. In Japan. Chapter 1. 10 days later, the captain of the Hopper came to my house. His name is William Robinson. He wanted to make a voyage to the East Indies, and he asked me to be a doctor on his ship. I agreed right away. So we went out to sea on the 5th of August 1706. We arrived at Port St. George, and then we went to Tonkin. Soon there was a great storm. The next day, the storm was over. 2 days later, Paris overtook us on a ship. There was a Dutchman among the Paris. I asked him to set us free, but he did not listen to me. He was a very bad man. After some time, we met the captain of the pirate ship. He told his men not to kill us. I thanked the captain kindly. I said that he was a better man and he was hurt than the Dutchman. The Dutchman heard my words. His anger had no limits. He put me in a small boat with 2 paddles. Soon I was all alone at sea. I saw an island in the south. After 3 hours, I reached the island and laid a fire on the shore. I found many birds, eggs, and roasted them over a fire. Then I found a small cave. I fell asleep there at once. The next morning I decided to walk around to see the island better. The sky was clear and the sun was hot. Suddenly everything became as dark as night. I saw a huge object between me and the sun. It was about 2 miles above me. I took out my pocket glass and see hundreds of people on the huge object. It was a flying island in the air. Soon the island stopped for a moment. I put my cup in the air, five myself, me on the shore. The island was very close to where I stood. They showed me the stairs that led to the island. I went up the stairs joyfully. There were a big crowd of people. They all looked at me attentively. They tilted their heads to the left and to the right, always keeping one eye on the ground or on the sky. I saw figures of suns, stars, moons, planets, flutes, guitars, and many other musical instruments on their clothes. I noticed also I noticed also many men with sticks in their hands. There was a bubble at the end of every stick. They flapped this pebble at the mouth's end. Ears of those who stood near them. They did that because the people on the flying island was forgetting everything. That is why they kept a floppy in each family. This floppy followed them everywhere, all the time. Then they led me to the king palace. We entered the palace and went into a big hall. There the king sat on his throne. The king asked many questions, and I answered in all the languages I knew, but we could not understand each other. After that, Emma, with a flopper, led me to another room. He held in his hands many things, a pen, paper, pencils, and there, all for books. The king sent him to teach me their language. We sat over the books for a long time. My teacher also showed me the figures of the sun, moon, and stars. He also named all the musical instruments they had. After some time, their I learned their language. I could speak their language easily. I learned their tra- traditions too. They liked science and music very much. Their ideas were full of lines and figures, but they were very bad thinkers. They never could give a right answer. They liked news and politics most of all. They could talk about politics for a long time. These people was always worried about something. They had no joy in their life. Therefore, the king told me about their flying island almost every day. The flying island was circular. The name was Laputa. Its diameter was 7,837 yards. There was a big hole at the center of the island. They called it Flandona Knoll or the astronomer's cave. They were many lamps and mathematical instruments. In this cave, there was a huge magnet inside of island. Nobody could take his magnetite. This magnet moved the island from one place to another. The king just needed to turn the magnet to any direction he liked, but the island could not move beyond the end of the kingdom. I saw all the interesting places on the island. That is why I wanted to leave the flying island very soon. The king gave me a letter of recommendation to give to his friends in Ladego. I left the flying island on the 16th of February. I arrived in Ladego, the capital of Banibadi. I was glad to walk on the ground again. Soon I found the king's friend. I greeted him kindly. His name was Munodi. He showed me his town. The town was very strange. The houses were all broken. The people in the streets walked quickly. They looked sad and worried. After some time we returned to my friend's his house. Looked very nice. Munodi told me that they wanted us to destroy his house and build it again. I did not understand why he wanted to do that. Then Munidi told me an interesting story that about 40 years ago, many people went to Laputa. After 5 months, they went back with very little knowledge in mathematics. They were very stupid. Those people began to forget all sciences, languages, and mechanics. They built their houses in a very bad way. They had no schools or universities. Was only one academy in their country. My friend wanted to show me that academy. I agreed to go there right away. Chapter 3. This academy was very big. First man I saw was very dirty. He was working on a project to take the sunlight out of cucumbers. He put many cucumbers into the bottles and put them in the sun. He told me that they called for the air in a room. Then I went to another room. There I met an architect. He found a new method of building house. He proposed to build the house from the roof to the ground. His method was very stupid. So I went to another room quickly. In the other room, I met a very smart scientist. He had found a method of playing the ground with pigs. This was the method. You needed to hide lots of vegetables on the ground. Then you drove 600 pigs to the field, and in 2 days they would play the whole ground in search of their favorite food. Then I went into another room. There I met an old professor. His students stood next to him. There was a big frame in the middle of the room and so many pieces of wood. In the frame, each piece of wood had a piece of paper with many words on it. The professor told his students to mix all the pieces of wood in the frame. The students did so. Then they read all the words attentively. Then the professor showed me a big book. There were many broken sentences in this book. He wanted to unite them all one day. He told me that this book had all his ideas. I was very surprised. I said goodbye to the professor and went out of his room. The next room was a mathematics school. There, the teacher wrote his formula on thin pieces of paper and gave them to his students. His students ate them at once. The teacher believed that his formulas went from the stomach to the brain and stayed there forever. I did not believe that teacher at all. I left the academy and went back to my friend's house. I saved the whole country and went to return to England. The next day I left my good friend. I started my journey to the island of Lugnac. Soon I arrived at the port of Maldonado, close to Rip Island. There I found a ship for Auckland. On the 24th of April 1708, we sailed into the port of Lugnac. Some native officers came on board to check our ship. Our captain told them that I was a traveler. One of the officers asked me many questions about my travels. I gave him a short version of my travels. Then the officer asked me to visit their king. I agreed to do that. Soon we reached the king's palace. The officer told me that I had to creep to the king's throne and show him all health, my respect. So I crept to the throne and greeted the king very respectfully. The king liked me very much. He told his man to prepare a room for me in the palace. Then he gave me a big part of gold. I stayed there for 3 months. Everybody was very keen to me, but I wanted to return to my family and stay in my own country for a while. Therefore, one day a man from the palace told me a very interesting story. The story was this: sometime a child is born in a family with a red spot on its forehead. This child is immortal. After some time, the spot grows and changes its color. At 12 years old, it becomes green. After age 25 years, it grows blue. And at age 50, it grows black. Then it never changes color again. At 19 years old, immortal people lose their teeth and hair. They eat and drink everything without an appetite. They forget the names of their best friends. They cannot read a book because they always forget the beginning of a sentence. After 200 years, they cannot talk at all. They live like strangers in their own country. I liked this story. I asked the king to introduce me to an immortal man in the palace. One day the king introduced introduced me to an immortal man, but the man did not say a word. But the man did not say a word. He stood still and looked at me curiously. That man was very old and horrible. After some time, the immortal man went away. Then I talked with the king about love for a long time. We had many questions and ideas about love. 5. Soon I wanted to live at the kingdom. The king gave me a letter of recommendation to give to the Emperor of Japan on the 6th of May, 1709. I left Lucknow. After 2 days I found a ship to Japan. I spent 15 days traveling. We landed in a big city called Gido. I showed the officers my letter from the king of Lugnang. The officers led me to their king. The king asked me many questions about my travels. I answered all his questions. Then I told him that I wanted to return to Europe very soon. The king told his officers to find a ship to carry me to Europe. The next day, the officers found a ship for Amsterdam. I spoke Dutch very well, so I could easily ask them to carry me to Amsterdam. On the 10th of April, 1710, we arrived in Amsterdam. Then I sailed toward England on the 16th of April. varied in the dance. I was very glad to see my native country again. I was away from home for 5 years, so my family was very happy to see me again.